We are live. Hello, everybody. Hi, Mark. You're looking different again every week. You look a little bit different. This is
Yeah. Oh, sorry, that was a joke. Yeah.
that's you. Yeah. Oh. This is
Yeah.
our
Well,
good
I
friend
had some
Joe.
work done. I've had some expensive plastic surgery. You can see I'm much better looking than I used to be before.
Don't worry, folks at home. Mark is doing something to his computer to make it work properly, and we'll bring him in. So before we talk properly to our good friend Jolyon Holroyd, we'll give you a blast of a song. You've heard this one before. Regular listeners will have heard this before. It's a song called "Jump Up," but now we've added Mark's vocals, his acoustic guitar, and I've changed to a different electric guitar for the geeks out there. So see what you think of this. And we're going to play a little bit more. People have complained that we don't play enough. So here's a minute and a half of this and have a bit of a boogie. When the time is right, aim high. In the dead of night, aim high. On a morning bright, aim high. On the flowing tide, aim high, aim high. Now all these years have passed, I'm getting that same feeling. Something out at sea is heading for the shore, but something isn't right. I feel it go unfeeling, can happen overnight. So be ready for the fight. Jump up, push back, for the ties to the railway track. Jump up, aim high, no time, dreaming this is do or die. Jump up, push back, for the ties to the railway track. Jump up, aim high, no time, dreaming this is do or die. Jump up. We'll stop that there then. So, welcome. Still no sign of Mark, by the way, but he's working on it. So, a big welcome to musician, record producer, photographer, and filmmaker, all the way from Devon, Mr. Jolyon Holroyd.
Hello.
Hi, Joe.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to see
So,
you.
2020, this is the same question that everybody gets asked at the beginning because it's the big theme of this year. Presumably everything happened differently for you, so how have you made the best of it? Yeah, go ahead.
I've just been really, really busy. I think a lot of people needing online content, and that's kind of what I do. So, I had a big backlog of lots of jobs. Took on a bit too much, I think, recently, and just been tied up with lots of filmmaking and recording work in the studio as well, all socially distanced, of course. But yeah,
You put people in boxes, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, padded rooms. Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw you did quite a bit of film work for Show of Hands. We had Steve Knightley on a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, they've given me lots of jobs to do. It's been good fun. We've been all over the place making little films with them and inventing new ways of recording and all sorts of fun things. Went to Season Coat House, which was amazing. Yeah, it's been lots of fun and very busy.
So what's if you're dealing with recordings in a socially distanced way or in weird locations, has that thrown up any kind of unusual?
Well, most of it's been outdoors, so that's helpful. There's lots of space to manoeuvre. So yeah, that's really the way that we've done it. And also, we a lot of the times that we've started projects, we've been it's been not lockdown situations, and then it's gone into lockdown when we've been in the middle of it. So we're already a bubble, so we can just carry on and finish the job, as it were. But yeah,
that's cool. So you've seen bits and pieces and heard bits and pieces of what we've been doing with our lockdown and weird year of 2020 with the Bloomer and Katie project rather than Broom Bezzums. So what do you think of that?
It's interesting. Yeah, it's
That's not
exciting.
A good word, usually.
Sorry, exciting.
Interesting is always bad.
I'm really, really, really bad at recognizing what's good and bad. That's I should never admit to that really as a record producer, but often I think things are awful, and then I realise that they're not. The Smiths, perfect example. For years I hated them, and then suddenly I got it. It just
does Mark know this?
I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure. Yeah,
I need to hope he can't hear you.
But yeah, so I often don't get something for quite some time. I'm stuck in my ways. So in a sense, if I say anything negative, and I'm terrible for saying negative things, and being truthful when really I should be encouraging, don't worry. It's just that I haven't.
Studio here.
Yeah. But if I basically, I'll always say what I think, and I'll try to steer things in the direction that I think a project is going to work. So, but I'm never. I know that I'm never right, or I'm not always right. So yeah, I'll just from listening to that. Do you want some feedback on that song?
Go on then. Yeah.
So my first impression was that a little word sprung into my mind, which was Eurofolk. It made me. Okay. It still sounded quite folky. It still had that kind of element to it. Yeah. And I was getting a bit of Calexico coming through in that sort of Tex-Mex, a little bit of that. There was something in the chorus that I really was reminding me of something that I couldn't place, but I couldn't place it, so I can't tell you what.
Making a plucking motion.
That was the what I thought was pizzicato violin, but it wasn't, was it?
Because I'm in the studio for the first time, I can actually show you what that was.
Yeah.
So I can find the track.
I like that. I really like that.
Yeah. It's a synth
element.
Yeah.
Type thing.
That's it.
Yeah, I like that.
And there's the same melody on a Hammond organ.
Right. I like it. Yeah. Well, it's the thing in the chorus when it was going. I can't remember what the melody was, but it was doing this kind of like a with the pizzicato in the background as well. It really reminded me of something, and I can't place it, but it'll come to me eventually. So what else did I write down as that was playing?
You're taking this very seriously.
Love the fluty organ motif, which you just showed again there. I wasn't sure because I listened to the viewers might not know this. I listened to this before the show. This is how I got some notes. But I wasn't so keen on the kind of rock guitar. But you mentioned that is this the one that you changed that in?
This is the less rocky guitar. You should have heard it before that.
Oh, really? I just felt like
a really rocky one before that. I'll show you that. Why is it not playing it? I might have deleted it. Oh no, there it is. Oh, it's muted. No, it'll take ages to get that out. Yeah.
It's later in the song in the guitar solo part. I felt like that was just it was very kind of rock. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it didn't. I felt like the song was more Eurofolk.
Maybe
than
I should
that.
do a fiddle solo.
Yeah. Maybe in this one. But I felt like it was just so generically rock. It was like all the sort of vibrato frets, and it just felt a little bit out of place, maybe. But that was the only thing. What else? Let's have a look. Rock guitar. What's that Mark's voice in the bridge? What's that on Mark's voice in the bridge? Is that auto tune?
That's an effect. Yeah.
Yeah. Some weird kind of auto tune thing. Yeah, and it seemed a bit in my version. It seemed a bit quieter, but that's not finished yet, so that's forgivable. But I liked the way that it was so potentially commercial, in a Euro folk sense. It had that something about the melody had that sort of Eastern European vibe about it, as kind of Tex-Mex Eastern European fusion.
Of course. What else would it be? So
yeah, I think it would be appealing.
So since we're talking about producing and stuff like that, I mean, you've just said you always say the wrong, or you're always a bit too honest. But I was actually going to ask you because, well, you're a photographer, so you're used to having people in front of your camera, and when you're recording, you've got someone in front of a microphone. So you're potentially putting people in quite an awkward situation, but you want them to perform either singing or playing or posing. I'm asking you this because I've never liked having my picture taken, and I can just about handle it when you're doing it because you're good at putting me at ease. So I presume you do actually do that in the studio as well with singers. So how do you do that? How do you make people feel at ease?
I think removing all pressure is just the trick. And I think there are lots of ways you can do it, but I think mostly you always get the best out of people, be it with photography or with recording, if they're relaxed. And so taking away the pressure is the easiest and most effective way of creating a relaxed atmosphere, isn't it? It doesn't matter if you get it wrong. It doesn't matter if you get it wrong. Ignore me, pretend I'm not here, all of those things. And also taking people to a place where they don't even realize that they've stopped thinking about their performance by making them laugh or distracting them in another way. That always works well as well, I think.
You're good at that. Yeah. You're being very serious here because I'm asking you questions, but people at home, Joe has got an outrageous sense of humour. Don't let him talk to your mother-in-law.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it. Having a filthy sense of humour, it's very important.
But you have a lot of ideas as well. I think I wrote that in the description. As ever, with our guests, I always put a few links in the description for the video, so have a look there. Of Joe's different projects, but the thing that struck me, we've worked with you on videos. You've been the Broom Bezzums. We used to call you our videographer. We've taken you to various gigs or brought you into gigs to film them, and you followed us around with cameras. But you always see opportunities and ideas in the strangest things. Is that something that it just comes naturally to you?
I'm just looking for something. With photography, I think I'm looking for something different because I've been a photographer for quite some time, and so I'm looking for interesting things that stimulate me, I suppose. And then because I know that if it works, if it's balanced, if it's symmetrical, if it fits all of the boxes that my photographer's brain is looking for in a frame, symmetry and balance. And interest and narrative, all of those elements that photographers need to include in a good photograph. There's all of that, but that's all kind of second nature after a while. What you're looking for is something extra, something that really makes it a bit more interesting than just all of that standard stuff. And so
sometimes it's a mundane thing though that you see. I remember we were out shooting and you saw this really drab hut. We were in this beautiful forest with hills and stuff, and you said, let's go and stand next to that drab hut. Yeah. And you took some of the best pictures were on these sort of horrible metal steps on this drab hut, and they look great.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it, when it's the other way around. I was looking for textures at that point. I felt like we had enough trees, and we'd done enough of that, and so I was looking for different textures to just spice it up a bit. And I know it's really difficult being a subject in a photograph. And I've done, I helped create a camera harness with a leather production company called Heisterkamp. Amazing leather people. They're not made of leather. They make things out of leather. And
it's very tanned.
Yeah. So they
too much sunbeds.
They produced this harness, and I had to photograph myself wearing the harness, and it was terrible. I couldn't do it. It was awful. I had to get my wife to do it in the end because I couldn't. It drove me nuts. I couldn't do it. It was the posing thing, trying to look natural, but at the same time you're not really being natural at all because you're trying to look. You're trying. You're trying too hard.
That's my problem with it. I hate it.
Yeah, I can't stand it.
Yeah.
So I sympathise,
Mark's trying to pop up. See if he's here. Hello.
Yes.
What time do you call this?
Hey.
Well, I'd just like to send a personal message to the guys from StreamYard who are all probably sitting on their private island at this very moment saying, well, I'm not fucking sorting it out. Thank you very much.
Are we allowed to swear? If I'd known we could swear, I would have been swearing like a trooper.
Well,
yeah.
Can you hear us, Mark?
And nephew
yeah, I can. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I got in a few times. I had no sound, and I had sound, and then it was all very jolly. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, so been enjoying your last 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Well, it's time now.
It's time to go now.
Time for another song. Well, we're going to go to 20 minutes because we're playing the songs for longer. So here, since Mark's here, here's Mark singing a song. This is one you haven't heard yet. It's called Not Today.
And I could see the sunlight glistening in your tears. I hope that you'll forgive me for this momentary pain. I pray that you'll believe me. I never wanted it this way, but if we love each other, come on now, dry your tears, wipe them from your face. 'Cause if we love each other, look up to the stars, you know we'll find a way. 'Cause if we love each other, how can we go wrong?
Better. Much better.
We'll stop it there. So that's Not Today. So, Mr. Expert, do you want to
Well,
say something, Mark?
Yes,
Since
it's
you're here?
amazing. Oh, you mean him?
Been
Sorry.
gabbing away the whole time.
As
Like some kind of
like as a
special
general
guest.
impression, I was getting my first thing was I was feeling that sort of stereophonics kind of handbags and glad rags vibe, 90s kind of Britpop, really. I suppose that was coming through a lot. But that's you, Mark, isn't it? Did you write this one?
Yeah, it's kind of, it's inevitable, isn't it, that kind of all that side of what you grew up with and what influenced you the most, I suppose, comes out. It definitely wasn't intentional. You didn't sit down, taking on this kind of new approach to songwriting. Certainly didn't sit down with the intention of sounding like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just, all right, let's write a song in a contemporary way and see how it comes out. And I suppose it's inevitable, isn't it? Yeah, there's all.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
all-
this is your era, your original era, isn't it? And I think
Absolutely, yeah.
you've done it really well, though. I think it's authentic, and I love it when it goes to sevenths in the chorus, and the Telecaster on the neck pickup with the slow tremolo going on in there. Was that your AC30?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Guitars and
isn't he?
amplifiers, people, by the way.
Yeah.
We're not talking about cars.
He did say expert, and he does
That-
sound like one.
That style of guitar playing was much more interesting to me. Even though it's a different song, I know, and different context, but I think it was much more innovative and much more interesting, rather than that kind of tired rock kind of formula thing that people have overdone so much. I think you've thought about the guitar part much more in that one. It's less, it's not coming to you naturally because your fingers want to go there. It's coming to you because you've really thought about it, and it's much more melodic and interesting. And the sound
Actually,
of
that's
guitar.
interesting you say that, because I thought, right, we're trying to do something new here, and I thought, how do I play the fiddle? How would I approach a fiddle solo? And that's my new way of doing it, because as soon as you pick up an electric guitar, you become like B.B. King or Jimi Hendrix or someone. That's all been done, so that's the new thing, to try and bring that.
Yeah, and I think that well, if that's the way you're doing it, that's definitely working. In this song, it's really good. It was kind of channeling the Gallagher brothers a little bit via the Beatles, and it all had that. It had that, but there's nothing wrong with that, is there?
I played the original. Well, when I sent the demo over, I put a guitar solo in there, and it did sound like I had Noel Gallagher around for tea.
I like the organ in that as well. like the sound of the organ in that, the Hammond, that sort of low, subtle organ going through it was really nice too.
I've found myself drawn to that kind of sort of Motown-y sounding drums, organ. I suppose, you know, like before my own era being the 90s, kind of growing up with parents from the 60s, you know, and that kind of, there's obvious Beatles and Stones influences in there. That all kind of draws in. I mean, that's kind of the essence of popular music, isn't it? They started it all, so yeah. Is
that your new Paul Weller haircut you got on at the moment? Can you hear me?
It's not a new one, is it? I had this haircut for about the past 20 years. It was my girlfriend got me to cut the fringe, but she doesn't even know who Paul Weller is, so.
But since you mentioned that, Joe, I was going to ask you anyway. You've heard the music now. You're a photographer, videographer, music producer, so an ideas person. So what do you think your image should be?
Yeah. I've got a definite idea about your image. Yeah. You, Mr. Cady. No, everything. I want you both to. I mean, if I was your manager and I was just saying to you, right, you've got to do this, otherwise I'm going to leave. I would say, Andrew, you should have a short haircut. You should get rid of your lovely bob, which you've had for years, and is kind of, you know, makes up your right.
With it, according to mine.
I know. Well, that's what it's like. I think.
If you look, I've seen photos of him as a baby, and it's like it's that long, like in the middle.
I believe it. I would believe that. Yeah. Would you do that? Would you do that, Andrew?
I think I'd probably die. I'm not sure I'd still be alive.
Just sweep it back a minute so we can see without it. Okay. Go on. Yeah. Looking a bit kind of the Matrix. What's he called? Old.
I don't know. I've seen the
you've got a good face. You've got kind of good Moomin bones. You know.
Here he is again with the Moomins.
You've got good kind of Moomin bones. You're not going to hear that every day on.
Yeah, it's good, strong kind of cheeks and chin. So I think you need to show more of your face. And Mark, if you could show a bit less of your face.
So I'll grow. What you're saying is I should grow my
fringe.
hair.
Just arrived.
Grow fringe to about there. That'd be great.
I don't know. He went to all of this effort to get himself on camera, and that's what he gets.
Yeah. I would have expected nothing less.
I think. Well, I mean, I don't know. So, what are you doing with this? Are you going to release this as an album?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's a new project. Broom Bezzums is kind of put on the back burner. Just this opportunity under new management. That the ideas came from the manager really as well to try something else to appeal to a larger audience. In Germany, the folk audience is very limited in numbers, and to try and just appeal to a bigger audience and just try something new. Really, I've been doing the same thing more or less in the same formula for 15 years, and it's been fantastic. But I think we achieved about as much as possibly we could have over here, at least anyway. So, and it's just the whole terrible situation of all the gigs being cancelled just presented the opportunity quite naturally as well. It's like,
I think I watched the show you did with Steve as the guest, and he was saying that it's the time to do it if you're going to pick any time to try something, and to have fun with ideas. And it's that time, isn't it, that when you're falling asleep at night, when all of pressure is gone, when you come up with your best ideas, or in my case, when I start worrying about things as well. But it's that thing. It is that thing of when there's no pressure at all, your mind goes into this kind of idleness, which allows it to explore and find things that it otherwise wouldn't, and you get all the happy accidents coming through.
I get the opposite.
Do you?
I write all my songs when I should be doing something really boring like tax or.
Do you?
Something I don't want to do.
So you're avoiding.
Come out.
Yeah.
It's my procrastination.
Yeah. Well, that's good as well, isn't it? That at least it happens, you know.
Yeah. Well, the other stuff doesn't though.
No.
Write a lot of songs and never do any of that stuff. You just get a pile of bills.
When's you got to do your tax as well? Coming up soon in January.
I don't know.
Then let's not talk about it.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever done it.
You got the IRS listening.
Don't say that. Don't say that live on the.
No,
Yeah.
I wait until the threatening letters come and then hand a box of stuff over to a clever person who knows how to do it.
So I suppose for you, Joe, I don't know if this has been talked about because I haven't been part of the conversation.
Yeah, where have you been?
I'll pose the question anyway. I suppose through particularly your work, because we've worked with you in video and photography. I suppose you've had a flow of work with video stuff as well, because people have basically just needed it. No, this is the kind of the medium that's needed at the moment.
Yeah, I just let you say all that, but yeah, we've talked about all that.
all done. Nothing left to say on the
Oh shit! Well, that was my only question.
Yeah, no, I've been really busy, just for your information. But we do need to talk about having a stinkweed reunion.
Yeah, well, I was all ready for the
Stinkweed,
last
ladies
one,
and gentlemen.
but I got given the wrong date, wasn't I?
This was the band that Joe and Mark were in, by the way, for people back home. Stinkweed.
Yeah.
That's how you know each other, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Mark taught me to play the drums, and I think I taught you to play the guitar in the early days. And now I'm a really rubbish drummer, and Mark's a brilliant guitarist. I don't know how that worked out like that.
That's not true.
But
I'm up for the reunion if it's only to beat the living daylights out of that absolutely beautiful drum kit you've got.
I'm not taking my kit. Not with you drumming. Oh, you can use the Ludwig kit or the little Gretsch kit.
All right, okay.
You're not using my lovely Guru kit.
I let him play my guitar as well sometimes, but it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah. Is he rough with it?
Yeah.
I play the guitar like a drummer, don't I? So.
Well, time's up, folks. I'm afraid we've deliberately overrun because it took a while to get things technically moving. Yeah. But Joe, you just wanted to say something really world changing.
I was just going to say, Maria was going to say hello to Mark and you.
Oh.
She's gone. Oh no, she's coming back. Come and say hello.
Aren't you on the
It looks like you've just left.
We're not. She said, Maria said, "Aren't you on the radio?"
Hi, Maria. Good to see you.
How are you?
All right. We're not on the radio.
No, we're not on the radio.
Okay.
We're on the telly, love. We're on the telly.
We're on the BBC One of Germany. Germany's BBC One.
You can't hear us, though, can you?
No, she can't. But she can hear a bit of spill coming out of me.
Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming to join us. Lovely to see you, Maria. Lovely to see you, Joe.
Lovely to see you.
Great to see you guys.
See you, Mark.
I miss you guys. We need to get drunk.
Likewise.
We do. Yeah.
Next time. Yeah, we'll come and stay at your house and get drunk again at some point. All the best then. Bye, everyone.
Cheers.
See you, folks. See you next week in German.
Right, what we need.